Let's break down literally every single piece of information you need to know, as well as the details you've missed from the Black Ops 7 Zombies gameplay reveal. Now, unfortunately, we haven't gotten much shown to us yet. We've gotten a few snippets of gameplay and third-person shots, as well as the intro cutscene previewed. However, on the recent Call of Duty podcast, they confirmed that the full Black Ops 7 Zombies gameplay reveal is going to be happening in a few weeks. They didn't specify exactly when or what date, but it'll probably end up being the first or second week of September. And what's even more exciting is they said it's going to be a full week's worth of coverage with some teasers leading up to it as well, meaning the teasers could literally start in a week or two. And of course, I'll be breaking down absolutely everything on the channel, so we're going to learn everything about zombies at this event. But not only are we going to be getting this, but Call of Duty Next will be happening to show even more footage on the 30th of September. And this shows to me that Zombies is getting more focused than ever before for it to get a dedicated event before even the multiplayer or the other campaign stuff or whatever they show at Call of Duty Next is fully revealed. So I am wondering what they're actually going to show in a few weeks. Are they going to show us full on gameplay, maybe like the Terminus footage where they show 10 to 20 minutes of pre-recorded footage? To be honest, that is what I'm expecting, and then maybe something more at Call of Duty Next. I'm hoping they don't reveal too much though. I think this has been a problem with Call of Duty Zombies and media in general lately. They just want to reveal too much. It ruins all of the excitement, the mystery, the surprise of things. Back in the day, we would get a trailer and we would be meticulously breaking down every single frame for, the couple months leading up to release, whereas now they drop a blog post, they invite YouTubers, and they literally tell us everything. And I do feel that's in part why Zombies maps become stale quicker than they used to. I think it's not just because times have changed, but it's also their marketing approach. I think with everyone's low attention spans, they feel like they just have to constantly bombard us with too much information, but unfortunately it means that stuff dies off quicker. But before I get into all of the information, I want to show the little gameplay snippet from the Black Ops 7 trailer, as well as the snippet from the end of the Direct event, because a lot of people missed that because it was kind of buried. It wasn't shown in the actual Gamescom event, but I'm sure we'll get a full Zombies trailer in a few weeks when the full reveal happens. I'm expecting us to get the full intro cutscene revealed as well, considering they're teasing it to us as well. So yeah, maybe we'll get both, but I'm going to play them now and I'll be back in a second to talk about them. Enjoy.
Snow that gets trampled when you step in it, fog that parts and swirls when you run through it, and truly epic explosions. And a bunch of other stuff you'll just have to discover for yourself.
We're pulling out all the stops with round-based zombies this year. After the events of Black Ops 6, our crew is now trapped in the dark ether. This is a whole new universe to explore in Zombies, where the team's creativity can absolutely run wild. Our crew is essentially in prison here, and they'll need to fight to discover a way to escape this reality. As if that wasn't enough, they've just come face to face with an alternate incarnation of our original crew, Richtofen, Takio, Nikolai, and Dempsey, with no idea who they are or why they're here. We're delivering a truly massive round-based map at launch, packed with new features, as well as the return of survival maps for the first time since Black Ops 2. It's going to be one hell of a ride, and you won't have to wait long to see more. Our official Zombies reveal is only weeks away. Until then, we'll leave you with this.
On behalf of all the studio teams working to bring Black Ops 7 to life, thank you for being part of this journey. We have so much more to show you, including new gameplay features, our MP and Zombies reveals, and more coming in the next weeks. In the meantime, mark your calendars for the worldwide multiplayer reveal at Call of Duty Next on September 30th. We'll have live MP and Zombies gameplay with your favorite creators from around the world. And right after Next, you'll be able to play Black Ops 7 at home when our beta starts on all platforms on October 2nd. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Black Ops 7 arrives worldwide on November 14th.
Get the Reznov Challenge Pack when you pre-order now.
So, the launch map is indeed a TranZit-inspired map, but with many different expanded and new sections. It is not a TranZit remake, it's just heavily inspired, and there are way more points of interest than the original TranZit. Of course, a TranZit remake has been in the pipeline for a long time. It apparently got cut from Black Ops 4, so we're finally seeing it materialize, kind of, in this game. I'm just hoping it plays a lot better than the original TranZit because we have little information on the premise just yet. I'm hoping it feels a lot more accessible than the original. So the only point of interest we've physically seen so far is Farm. So Farm is back. It's pretty much the same as like the original. From the shots you can see the barn and the things are in similar positions, but Diner is apparently going to be on the map too, and also Conan Pizza hinted at a Shadows of Evil section potentially. We also know from the intro cutscene that the reception of Janus Towers is also part of the map, maybe even the same spawn room. In the old teaser we got before, you did see one of the Janus Towers behind the farm, so it's probably going to be set close by, maybe even potentially the same spawn room, especially this is where the crew are in the cutscene. It would make sense to be the spawn, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I hope not though, because that would be more repetitive if you're starting off the map in the same way, even if the total map is very different. So at the ending of Reckoning, we got sucked into the Sentinel artifact in a Dark Ether pocket dimension, Richtofen trapped to try and get his family back. This map sounds like a Revelations-like map where different parts of the old multiverse that got thrown into the Dark Ether are meshed together, as opposed to just being a TranZit remake. On screen you can see a rough sketch from Mr. Dalek JD on the layout of the map. There are way more points of interest than TranZit. It's been described as one of the biggest maps ever, and it really does so from the little shots we've seen so far. I'm so excited to explore this map because I think the mystery that came from TranZit with Buster B and the fog and things came from you not being able to see very well, and you know, you being able to traverse through the cornfields, etc. And whilst there wasn't actually that many hidden secrets outside of TranZit, apart from maybe Nagda Untoten, I think they're going to take that mystery to a whole other level now with this open dead space and the fog in this Black Ops 7 TranZit-like map. We still do not know what the map name is going to be yet though. I'm sure that will get revealed soon. And instead of the bus like we had on the original TranZit, there's instead going to be a Wonder vehicle, a Dark Ether vehicle with a turret on it like Modern Warfare Zombies. And as you see the Wonder vehicle traversing, there's a load of blood splatter, and to be honest, it kind of looks like a meatball from Shadows of Evil. So I'm wondering if they could be back and maybe just within the fog and the sections to use the vehicle. I think it would fit the vibe especially if there is a section from Shadows of Evil. And in the background it looks so creepy. It's this deep, dark, rich wood. And the skybox looks really cool, although it is a bit unfortunate they're going for the purple Dark Ether aesthetic again. I hope the DLC maps will switch things up a little bit, because there's so many other aesthetics they could do in the Dark Ether and they keep just going for the same one. However, you do see these massive crystals and pillars that look very similar to the pillars that you see in the Dark Ether Nexus on the tomb, which was also described as the heart of the Dark Ether. So I'm wondering if that has any connection there with regards to power source or what is going on. It seems the Pack-a-Punch is a part of it as well, which I think will create an interesting dynamic where you're having to track down wherever it is on the map. Maybe you have to repair it first or attach the Pack-a-Punch to it. You can drive it yourself though instead of set locations / paths in a linear way like TranZit, which I think allows for exploration a lot more. It's kind of what they were experimenting with the boats on Terminus, but a lot of people felt like that was dead space, whereas I feel like hopefully it's going to be handled better with the Wonder vehicle on this map, with the Ted Skin operator that you get in the Vault Edition, where you can see that he has his full face pre his destruction. He looks very weird, like the Adams on Alpha and Omega. He's likely going to be a part of the map, considering it is a TranZit-esque map with literally some points of interest being the same, especially because you can see the Pack-a-Punch in his core. So I'm wondering if maybe we can build / repair him, find parts for him around the map after he's gotten broken up in the Dark Ether, and then attach him to the vehicle, because obviously everything from the old multiverse got thrown into the Dark Ether. Maybe this could even be an alternative Ted that didn't end up melting and turning into what we saw him like in the original Hanford. So YouTubers got to be able to play Black Ops 7 Zombies early, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because the handling of this event was not great at all. They only got to play the farm survival map though, which I'm actually happy about. They definitely should not be playing the full map, because that would spoil a lot of the surprise and I think a lot of the intrigue, and also they would be ahead in the Easter egg hunts, etc. And it leads to the potential for stuff to leak out as well, because lots of stuff was leaking out from this event. So I'm hoping that when we get the full Black Ops 7 Zombies reveal, that they only show the farm map. Keep the full map a secret, or maybe just show, you know, a gameplay trailer, little snippets of it, but don't show too much. I think they can handle that that well, especially with this being apparently one of the biggest maps ever. I think they can definitely diversify and just show little snippets of the map, and it won't give away too much just due to the nature of the map. So yes, survival maps are back, and this is awesome. I have been one of the heavy advocates for survival maps returning in Zombies for so long, especially how much I loved Onslaught in Black Ops Cold War, and it was unfortunate it didn't return into Black Ops 6 because I felt like it scratched that same itch that the survival maps garnered. And also, it just requires a lot less development time for Treyarch to just section off maps that they've already done. Of course, it still requires some work, however, it's much easier than designing a new map from the ground up, and it helps fill us over in between content droughts. It means that if we're going to be getting survival maps, there shouldn't be any time really that there are going to be droughts from new Zombies content in Black Ops 7, which I'm really excited about because the wait from Shattered Veil to Reckoning felt very, very long. And I think the survival maps, especially the ones that we could play on the original TranZit, or for example Groston House and World War II Zombies, those honestly were some of the most fun I've ever had, and a lot more people were playing them than the original TranZit. So if people don't end up being a fan of this new TranZit-esque map, if it is a bit tedious and complicated to get set up because it's so large, then at least there's the survival maps for more casual fans to just be able to jump into. You don't have to be thinking about complex stuff if you just want to jump in and have a good time and shoot zombies or level up camos, XP grind, etc. So there's only going to be farm on launch. However, the other points of interest like diner, etc. will be coming post-launch. And there are also going to be survival maps released based on the DLC maps as well. That has me hopeful that a lot of the DLCs are going to be large maps as well, to be able to section off different sections for survival content. Now, Treyarch has implied to the YouTubers who played early that not all of the TranZit-like map points of interest will be released as their own individual maps for survival, so only some of them will. I'm guessing some don't really suit survival experiences. They have also said that these survival experiences will come kitted with everything that you need, so I'm guessing all of the perks, or at least the Wonder Fizz, will already be on the map, the mystery box of course, the crafting table, armor, war buys, etc. I think it's all going to be there, which I don't really like that. I think it was cool with the original TranZit that the different survival maps had different things. For example, Town was the only one you had Pack-a-Punch. Bus Depot, you literally had nothing, no perks. Farm, you didn't have Pack-a-Punch. You only had perks, so it might be a similar case here, or maybe Treyarch are going to balance it well, where they're not going to give everything on everything. I think it would be cool to have different custom modes you could do for these maps, where you can have different amounts of things spawned in to give you a bit of that challenge that you got. It really set the survival maps apart in Black Ops 7, but I can understand why they may not want to do that. Now, whilst the YouTubers did get to play farm early, unfortunately they are NDA'd, so can't talk about their experience much, which is extremely dumb. I don't even understand why they were even flown out in the first place if they're just going to be basically giving a load of propaganda talk and not even being able to talk about their own experience. They can't really talk about any negatives or feedback that they have really beyond what they said in the actual press conference. And I really don't like when they do these YouTuber events because, like I said, I think it runs the risk of too much stuff being revealed, which in this case I don't think it has been too much yet because they have been restricted in what they can say. However, it creates conflicting and confusing information because the YouTubers hear things from Treyarch and then they relay that information, so everyone's going to remember everything differently or take notes differently, and so it's leading some of the information to be contradictory, and Treyarch just need to release a blog detailing everything. I really do not understand what the point of this was. Treyarch's PR team and the marketing team really need to improve because this is just not it. Even the YouTubers who went seem really confused about why it was handled this way, and now maybe the YouTubers are going to be able to talk about this stuff when the full Black Ops 7 Zombies reveal happens. I don't know how long their NDA lasts. If they are allowed to talk about it then I think it leads credence to the idea that they might be showing farm gameplay when that actually happens, not gameplay the YouTubers recorded because I don't think they were allowed, but pre-recorded gameplay like they did with Terminus or Modern Warfare Zombies. And I think having survival maps is perfect because this means that we should be getting at least a map every single season. If survival maps are going to be filling up content, potentially we might be getting at least 2 maps in some seasons. We might be getting a main one and a survival one, maybe one at launch and one in Reloaded. This is awesome. Like I said, I've been asking for this for years and so many in the community have too, and hopefully this also means that we're not going to be getting any small filler maps like Liberty Falls and The Tomb. Treyarch have recently come out and said Liberty Falls is apparently the most played zombies map of all time. Honestly, I see it. I don't think obviously it is the best zombies map of all time. However, there's so many multiplayer and Warzone people or people that are just playing it to grind XP, camos, weapon XP, etc. That's kind of how modern day zombies is, and I think the survival maps are going to cater towards that itch, so hopefully this means the main experiences should be epic and on much bigger scale because they're not going to be constrained about creating them just for camo grinding because that's what the survival maps will be for. Treyarch have confirmed that all maps will be set in the heart of the Dark Ether, not just launch, allowing them to go to more creative locations, probably the original crew's home universes, as they seem to be from separate eras judging by their outfits. Obviously we had some maps leaked before, Nazi overrun New York, probably Richthofen's map, a Japanese Showan temple with an erupting volcano behind, probably Takio's map. We have a Vietnam map that could be probably Dempsey's or maybe Nikolai's, as well as an Afghanistan map, which again I think could be probably Dempsey's, maybe Nikolai's. We have a space station map as well, I'm theorizing could be the finale, just because going to space is the most epic way to go out, and could be how the Rec Room characters escape the Dark Ether through some kind of space station with a particle accelerator. And it would mirror Black Ops 1 a lot, with the finale being on the moon. Now, like I said at the start, the intro cutscene was teased following on from Reckoning's ending, so it's literally continuing right where we left off. It's literally the exact same cutscene, which is why Reckoning's ending felt so jarring when the original crew turned up and Richthofen just says, "Welcome to the party," and then it cuts to black. To be continued, there's no explanation. That's because it's literally being continued within the intro. Most likely they've been working on this cutscene simultaneously because it's all one. Now it starts off and we see the crew on the ground, both the original and the Terminus crew, and there's loads of fallen zombies slash soldiers. I still don't know why Maya is here. And then we can see that there is the new big bad that's been confirmed as on the COD pod, so this is going to be the main villain throughout the game, at least at launch. And you can see they seem to be exiting through a portal. So it seems like after where we left off within Reckoning's ending, this dude just randomly comes through the portal, steals the essence of the original characters to try and use it to restore the multiverse. And this is why in the promo images we see the crew looks very sick, with very pale skin, big pulsating veins, yellow eyes. It's because their essence has been stolen in the intro cutscene. They are literally sick, infected, and dying. So maybe during the quest we have to heal them to take on the Warden as he starts restoring the multiverse in the Dark Ether. This is why in Reckoning's ending they look so different to the promo images, because it's before their essence was stolen. But I'm a little bit confused about this, because essence is it not just the same as souls in the zombie storyline, but these characters, if they are back in some way, they shouldn't have souls, because they all shared souls across the multiverse and they got purged on Tag to Totem. That was the whole point of that ending. So if they're going to say now they actually have souls, it's going to completely retcon the point of Tag to Totem's ending. So I'm not sure how to feel about that, and I'm not very confident that Treyarch are going to give an actual reason for why the crew are back and everything like that. I just hope that the writing and the emotions and the character dialogue is funny, with good banter and emotional weight and stakes and good character arcs, which has been absent throughout Black Ops 6, because that's basically the only holding hope. If the plot is poor, if there's not a real reason why they're back, at least then they could get a proper send-off that they didn't get a chance to get in Black Ops 4. And these images we've received on Farm look really poor though. I understand the crew are sick, but they just look very cheap. It looks like a mobile game. Premise in COD Mobile genuinely looks better, and the lighting for some reason in these images is very off and flat. I don't understand why. Is the map just unfinished and they haven't finished the lighting for it yet? That's very well possible. But if we look at the crew themselves, we get a much better look at their outfits that we didn't really see properly in Reckoning's ending, and Group 935 is back as we see the logo on Richthofen's wrist, and he's clearly a Nazi for real this time, fully kitted out in the attire as a general or something like that. And I wonder how that'll play into the dynamic with the crew. He could have a lot of tension and arguments with them. How the hell are the Terminus crew going to react to seeing another Richthofen learning of the multiverse, and let alone the fact that he's a Nazi? Like, that is mind-blowing information to all find out at once. They just saved Richthofen's family. Weaver just reckoned with the fact he killed his family initially, and now they're just going to find out there's an even worse one around the corner. It's going to be so shocking. But Group 935 back has me really excited, because if they're going to be exploring their home universes, I want to find out if, for example, Group 935 actually kept on developing their advanced technology and won maybe World War II, and that's why New York becomes overrun by the Nazis. Maybe we're going to get this truly villainous version of Richthofen this time, or maybe he's going to serve as an anti-hero. Maybe we still have to protect him and protect his essence from being stolen, regardless of the fact he is a bad person, just because of the greater good of the universe, us not wanting the multiverse to be restored. Nikolai looks very weird in this shot, honestly. He looks so ugly. I could definitely see him actually having all of those divorced wives this time, as opposed to just imagining it in his head after his first wife's death. He looks like absolute shit. Maybe he's traumatized from being in Vietnam or Afghanistan. Takio has the full show in gear. He's fully decked out in classic Japanese outfits. He has a red scarf that's similar to Monty's, but it's probably not, especially since we just saw Monty's on Reckoning that Samantha was wearing. I don't see why there would be any connection there, why there would be another one. According to Milo, he is going to be having a new voice actor, because obviously Tom Kane suffered a stroke, so I'm wondering who that'll be. That'll probably be revealed soon when they do the announcements. Obviously Obviously, they recast Menendez after his voice actor unfortunately passed away, so I'm hoping they do a respectful job with whoever they cast for Takeo. Dempsey has Norse tattoos all over his arm, and he's absolutely ripped. Excited to see how he plays out. All of the crew kind of look really weird. They all just kind of look more villainous, I guess, all of them, than we last saw them. But let's talk about who this new big bad villain is. So you can see when entering the portal, they have a cowboy hat, and you also see they are wearing cowboy boots. So this is definitely the Shadowsmith or Warden that was in Ava Jansen's mirror before she then gets taken in by the arm, maybe of Samantha Maxis. I know we've been saying before this could be the Shadow Man or whatever, but considering the fact he seems to be a cowboy, I doubt that would have any relation to the Shadow Man, so maybe it really is just a completely new villain we've never heard of. He is carrying 2 skulls in cages, which look very similar to that objective that we had in Vanguard Zombies, so I'm wondering if his powers are going to come from rune magic similar to then. There's also cages in the room, so he does seem to be a new warden, some kind of sheriff, likely unrelated to the original warden we saw in Alcatraz, but potentially I guess they could be an alternative version, like how we are seeing a new crew of the original characters. It's confirmed as not being Ultimus or Primus. The YouTubers are describing them as the Dark Ether crew. The villain is likely the same great voice speaking to Panos, his shadow benefactor, that of course wanted to restore TranZit for some reason in the old multiverse. That's probably why TranZit is manifesting in this way, because it is being partially restored. Now, like I said, these skulls that he's carrying in cages, one kind of looks like there's a bullet hole in, so could this be Ultimus Richtorfin or Primus Nikolai's skull after they got shot in the Tag to Toe and ending? Maybe it could even be the skull of Samantha Maxis if she truly was consumed by the Forsaken or died, but if she was consumed, I don't think she would have a skull remaining. Or maybe it could even be Dr. Monty, considering Nikolai says he got sentenced to the Dark Ether at the ending of Tag to Toe.
When we are gone, so too is everything that spewed forth from the ether. Element 115, the Apothecars, even Monty himself. All of it will be banished to where it belongs. The Dark Ether.
Or maybe it could be the Shadow Man's head in the other cage. After Monty got thrown in the Dark Ether, he could have been defeated by this Warden-like character, because why would he want to restore the multiverse? He's either connected to the Shadow Man or Monty, or something to do with that past multiverse in the Ether story, or he has some sort of link with them, because if he's not them directly or doesn't know them, what if he actually defeated Monty or the Shadow Man and learned of the multiverse in the process and wanted to restore it? But the Shadow Man was in the summoning key when it broke, so I really don't know if it is him. Of course, we've been speculating he could be the Shadow Man for a long time, but I don't think so. Even if we look in Ava Jansen's mirror, now that we know he's holding these skulls, you can kind of make them out in his arms before Ava is taken. So clearly he still has them come 2021 or 2022 or whatever, and he's still around. Considering he's still around by Modern Warfare Zombies, unless there isn't any time travel or weird time dilation involved, then we presumably fail to actually properly stop him at the ending of Black Ops 7. Instead, we might just trap him after escaping from the Dark Ether and Requiem die, and maybe that's why the entity's created, to try and protect from within. Now, in the intro cutscene teaser, we do see an awesome shot of Takeo with his katana. I hope it's a weapon we can actually use, and like I said before, the spawn room of Janus Towers is going to be here as well. However, it does look to be broken up and open instead of just being the whole tower, because you can see the Dark Ether seeping in. It's very dark, the lighting is very different, so it's going to play very, very differently. The Dark Ether arrows are also back. And in the bottom left, there is some sort of device. Could this potentially be a new perk machine or something else quest related? It kind of looks like a drill in a way. I'm not exactly sure. Now, I do hope that Takeo's katana is a weapon we can actually use. And the best news that's come out of this reveal is it's confirmed that all maps in Black Ops 7 Zombies will apparently have intro cutscenes and be CGI cutscenes, pre-rendered. And Treyarch apparently wants to do more mid cutscenes and longer endings like they wanted to strive for Black Ops 6, but clearly didn't work out. So the cutscenes will surely look so great, because the campaign cutscenes for this game look absolutely phenomenal, some of the best we've ever seen, and the Modern Warfare Zombies ones all looked amazing as well, and even the little that we've seen in Black Ops 6 look phenomenal. So this is what's needed. It sucks that Black Ops 6 felt like filler and clearly didn't have intros because they were saving all of their budget for Black Ops 7's cutscenes instead, but having intro cutscenes for every single map is very needed for the original characters, though. When their send-off in Black Ops 4 didn't get CGI cutscenes at the end, so they need a proper send-off this time and a chance at redemption. I just hope the character writing is good, but them having cutscenes will allow us to emotionally connect with these characters and get to learn them more outside of intel and their in-game dialogue. Now, Treyarch didn't really explain to to the YouTubers why the original characters are back, but said it'll be slowly unpacked during the DLC. We don't have a name for them yet, whether it's going to be Tempest or not, but YouTubers, like I said earlier, have just been referring to them as the Dark Ether version of the crew, so is that what Treyarch are just referring to them as well? It seems so. It doesn't really give me much hope that there's going to be a proper explanation for why they are back, beyond just being alternative versions sent into the multiverse at the ending of Tag to Toe, which, like I said, contradicts the whole thing with the souls. So you are going to be able to pick between the original characters or the Terminus crew to play as, but only 4 total like in Alpha Omega. You can mix and match the crews, or just play as all the original characters or all of the Terminus crew. They say it's better though to mix and match, as that's where you get the most storyline information, learning about how they bounce off each other, and we're going to learn about the original characters from the perspective of the Terminus crew, because in their world, they're of course new to them. Just like in our perspective, these new versions of the original characters are new to us, so we're going to learn about why they're here, who they are, how they exist, through their lens. But I don't really like this. I understand it from a narrative perspective, but most people just want to play as the original crew. The percentage playing as the old crew will be so low because people haven't gelled with them well, and people will miss vital information if they're just playing as the original characters. There really should be an 8-player crew for this map, especially when they have the technology now and the map is so huge. It would work fine. I don't understand why they are not. Moving on, the fog between the points of interest is apparently going to be a lot more dynamic than TranZit and interactable with new technology. It'll literally react to you moving. It's been described as being really dangerous, traversing through the fog like before. We don't know if the denizens are back, we'll have to find out, but we do seem to see a new enemy type in the teaser that looks like some kind of Bigfoot or bear with glowing eyes. It really reminds me of the Dead of the Night werewolves, but we don't really see much to be able to make out what they actually are. And apparently there are going to be lots of Easter eggs and secrets to find in the fog, but that's the main reason for being there. Otherwise, there's not really much of a point for traversing through, but I'm sure there's going to be lots of main Easter egg steps and lots of side Easter eggs and different storyline secrets and stuff to uncover, so I'm really excited about that. Apparently, there's also going to be some sort of transportation system, similar to the Denizens' portals, to get around the map as well, but we don't know exactly what it's going to be. Obviously, in the original, we had Nacht Untoten and stuff, so I'm wondering if Nacht will be back. I doubt it, though, but there is the potential. There was actually a cut Easter egg where we were supposed to awaken the original characters from Nacht Untoten to restart the cycle on TranZit. Yes, they wanted to do the cycle back then, before it fully materialized. I made a video about that recently, which is very interesting. I'm wondering if maybe they could even bring back up that old plot point that got cut. Now, aside from this TranZit-like map, Dead Ups Arcade 4 is back. So whilst we only have one main launch map, the TranZit-like map, and one survival map, Farm, we also have Dead Ups Arcade 4 too. So I think that's actually a substantial amount of content. I think that's enough for launch, and Season 1 won't be too far after launch, and should get lots of survival maps throughout post-launch. So Dead Ups Arcade 4 looks really epic, but we don't really have much information on it just yet. We do see that the Guardian from Citadel Daymore is in it, and Black Ops 4's Nuketown, and the most exciting part is that you can now level up, unlock camos, weapon XP, gobblegums, etc. So people will love grinding this for that. I think that was a big detractor with Black Ops Cold War's Dead Ups Arcade. Less people played it because you couldn't level up, so this is going to remove that barrier to entry, and I assume there will be a first-person mode again. I hope that's available on launch, though. We've only seen the third-person version just yet. They say that Dead Ups Arcade 4 is so much bigger than the previous versions that it's practically its own game now, so I'm really excited to explore it, and if there's going to be that much to explore, I'm going to be making tons of content on it if it really is a game within a game. I don't know if it's going to feature Omni movement, we'll have to see about that. So yes, like I said, gobblegums are back. In the farm image that we received, we do see it in the background, and the farm section is said to be bigger now. It looks very similar to the original, with the positioning of the barn in a similar place, and you can see that gobblegum machine, like I said. Now, Treyarch have implied most of the Black Ops 6 stuff will carry over, like perks, field upgrades, gobblegums, etc., double XP tokens. We also know that operator skins, weapons, and stuff are going to be transferring over as well, which I'm not really happy about. But that'll be coming in Season 1, all of that nonsense. And you will get at least 2 new Ultra gobblegums that you will get with the Vault Edition that we don't know what they are just yet. Maybe that is in fact going to be shopping free. That was supposed to release to Black Ops 6, but it doesn't seem it's coming anymore, at least not yet, so we'll have to see about that. Tac Sprint is apparently going to be gone. It's of course gone in multiplayer, but it's now a perk, but Omni movement remains in zombies. We're unsure right now if it's going to be available as a stamina up augment, for example, or something like that, but I hope that it is gone entirely. It shouldn't even be present in multiplayer as a perk. That's so stupid. Just remove it. Get rid of it. But I would suspect that augments will transfer over from Black Ops 6 to 7. Apparently, the systems seem to be practically the same as Black Ops 6, which is to be expected with them being produced back to back, but it's a shame when games used to feel so unique between each other. There should be a big gap between Black Ops games, and with Black Ops 6 not being that much of a leap from Black Ops Cold War, in my opinion, season either. I think it is very, very shameful. Milo has said that Treyarch told him they are focusing more on creative map locations as the main reason to buy the game if you already have Black Ops 6 zombies, even though it really should be Black Ops 6 DLC in that case. What is stopping them from just releasing these maps to Black Ops 6 instead of making us buy a whole new game? It's really, really dumb. There is conflicting information though, because some YouTubers are saying they implied some new systems are going to be introduced, but others are saying that the game is going to be practically the same. So I'm only really expecting some minor tweaks, to be honest, and pretty much everything stays the same. For example, it was leaked that Melee Macchiato is going to be getting a rework and be a lot better. We don't know what that's going to be exactly, but I think there's just going to be little changes like that, no major change. Apparently armor is going to be back as well, but we don't really know much information about it. I hope they do change the animation for it, for example, absorbing a Dark Ether orb or crystal as opposed to having to plate, because it doesn't fit the zombies aesthetic, and it would help, especially now that Black Ops 7 Zombies is going to be entirely in the Dark Ether. It makes sense visually, and it makes zombies feel more unique and sets it apart from the other modes. So this isn't related to the main zombies mode, but there's a new endgame mode, as you've heard about, for the campaign, which is 32 players, and you unlock it beating the campaign, and it's essentially a DMZ and Modern Warfare Zombies hybrid, where you complete missions, etc. on an open world Avalon map, and there is no team fire. We don't really have much details about it, if there's going to be a time limit or not, for example, but the red zone from Modern Warfare Zombies is back, and zombies are going to be on it as well, maybe just in the red zone or certain sections. So this may be interesting for us zombies fans to be able to play as well as just a little extra, and we do know the tomb spawn room is literally a part of this map, so I am wondering if there's going to be zombies there and whatnot with regards to that. I don't know what its storyline is going to be though. There was a guild event, a collecting 115 leaked a while ago, so maybe that'll have to do with it. Will this tie into the zombie storyline though, or just be basically a completely separate thing with the Cradle stuff from Black Ops 6? I really have no idea. But yeah, let me know what you think about skins and blueprints carrying over. That's very stupid. We're gonna have like Beavis and Butthead again in Season 1, which is literally gonna look so out of place on this foggy, really atmospheric TranZit-like map. But considering it's so foggy, and this Warden enemy is made up of ashes, could it be like Prima Materia, literally alive? I don't know, but very, very interesting stuff. A lot of information to digest here. Of course, I'll be covering anything new as it is released. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not for latest and greatest Call of Duty news information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.